Hey guys, good evening, or I should say good morning. It's almost in the wee hours of the morning. I know here on March 4th, which is Monday. Getting back into more of the swing of things after Follies has wrapped up. As you know, that's been a time consumer for a while, and just slowly getting back in the groove with all our content and other things again. So I do thank you for being with me and being patient. So we have a great show for you tonight. Whether you're here at 5 minutes to 12 at midnight, 5 minutes to 12 in the morning, or perhaps you're here at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m., or maybe even 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Doesn't matter. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you've caught my hat. Believe me, achieve.com. And do go there, or you can scan the QR code and you'll be able to get over to my great content, which I know you guys will really enjoy. So thank you so much for being here. We start with a master topic on Saturday. We roll through the weekend every single day, ladies and gentlemen. We have a brand new granular topic that's in alignment with the main master topic. So the master topic for the week is How to Live a Life with Passion, Series 3, which means we're in the third year, and we're on show number 10. Wow, show 10. Can you believe that? Wow. All right. And our master topic, or I should say the granular topic for tonight, is Ignite Your Spark, Embracing Passion and Purpose. Yes, embracing passion and purpose. I think that's a pretty, how can I say? I think that's a pretty cool thing. And we, ladies and gentlemen, are on series 3. I just want to fix our little line there. We are on series 3, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on show number 10. Show number 10. So, yes, Ignite Your Spark, Embracing Passion and Purpose, Series 3, Show 10, Episode 3. So when we think about a life of passion, right, first thing I want to tell you about is to follow your fire. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Well, you discover who you are as a person, your passions, and what it is that excites you and gets you to feel those great moments of joy. And pursue them fearlessly. Now, let me give you an example. I remember going to Disney World. I think it was Rock and Roll Roller Coaster. And I remember some of my friends, tearing me, but of course they didn't go on the trip, to go on this roller coaster. Now, I had been new to roller coasters maybe 4 or 5 years before that, but I had never gone on Aerosmith. It was the Rock and Roll Roller Coaster. So Aerosmith in... it's MGM Studios, which is the Disney's park. I remember one of my friends couldn't make the trip, so I went on it, and I told him, I'll take a picture and show you that I've been on it. He says, yeah, right. So I got to Rock and Roll Roller Coaster, got in line, and there was like really no line. I'm like, oh no, now what do I do? Because, you're looking for excuses to why not to get on. And I remember the moment that I was like maybe 3 or 4 in line to being chosen. I was like, oh boy, I was like, what am I going to do? Like now I've got to go on this roller coaster. It's like, do I turn around? I can't do that. So then it's 2, then it's 1. I was like, and then I get in the car, and then I was in the front seat, and then they put some people in the back seat. And I was just in the front seat myself. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm locked in. I really can't get out of this now. And it's 0 in 0. It goes to 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds. It's a magnetic induction motor. It's pretty cool how this happens. And so very smooth ride. But, the whole fear of it, of what was going to happen, was more than the actual ride. I have to say that's the same thing with COVID. When you got the COVID shot, there was more to it than the fear. Now, the first time I got, I'll be honest with you, it kind of was not comfortable because I had a yo-yo that didn't really know how to give the injection very well. And my arm was a little sore. And it wasn't afterwards. It was right then, because it's like they almost like punched my arm. And I was like with the thing, and I was like, and I asked the guy, did you have experience? He says, oh, yeah, I've been on the truck for many years. So I figured, okay, he's been in the ambulance for years. Well, he's actually been someone who rode the ambulance, not someone that actually gave injections or was in the back. Didn't know that in the beginning. So next time I went to get the second shot, I complained and I talked to the head RN that was running everything there, and she was really nice. She's, oh, you shouldn't really feel anything during it. She said, very, very minor pinch. And so she says, oh, I'll tell you what. She says, I'll go ahead and give you the shot if you'd like. I said, that'd be great. So she comes down off of her position and comes down the floor, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm giving him a shot. He's like, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, but don't worry about it. So, she was talking to me and basically, going through everything would be fine. And, I think what I thought was like basically her fingernail kind of just like touching my skin, like very lightly. And I said, oh, that was probably your fingernail. She's, no, that's it. We're done. I said, oh, I thought you bumped your fingernail like on my skin or something. She's like, no, that was the needle. I was like, wow. And then after that, you sat in that little place where you waited to make sure nothing happened to you. So follow your fire. So when I went on that roller coaster, it gave me desire to go on other roller coasters. And it gave me a desire to just feel the fear and do it anyway. Another perfect example was around the COVID time. I hadn't been doing blood tests for very long, just didn't need them. But they were doing this for the antibodies and make sure you're okay. So I said, okay, I'll do it. But it was a little bit scary. And I got through it. And I was happy because it was actually the worry that was making it worse. So discover who you are, your passions, and pursue them fearlessly. Maybe like myself, you like to golf or you like to sail, or now I like to run. I like to cook, bake, right? I like to act, sing, dance. What do you like to do in your life? I like to do podcasting. I like to coach. I love to help people become a better version of themselves. I think that's a pretty cool thing. So what is it that motivates you? What ignites you? What is your passion in life? What is your passion in life? If I had to ask you that question, what is your passion in life? And, finding your passion is something that is really, really cool, because when you have figured out your passion, you could do more of it. It's kind of like, if you like chocolate pudding or you like chocolate cake, well, you're going to have stuff that you enjoy, right? You're not going to go try the lemon. Or if you know that you like strawberry Twizzlers, right? You're not going to go have the black licorice, right? Or if you know that you like all kinds of candies, but you don't like the ones with the cherries or the ones with the mint, well, you avoid those, right? And you know what they look like, so you don't have them. So follow your fire. Whenever we start a fire, I'm also an Eagle Scout. I was a Boy Scout. And so when you start a fire, you start with the kindling and everything rolling, and you get that fire going. When you follow it and you see that it goes up, 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 and then it goes from the kindling to the other wood to the other big wood that it catches on fire, you feel really good when you follow it through. That was in racing. That was in setting promises to myself. It was even in mindful meditation, which we've talked about many times. And I can't tell you how passionate I get when, I do something and I can see the difference it's made for even one person. It gets me so excited. Or how about the moment when you listen to your favorite music, right? I'm not going to play music here because obviously music is copyrighted. You're only allowed to play 5 seconds. So I'm not even going to do that because you really don't get a feeling in 5 seconds. It could take a little longer than that. But when you play a favorite piece of music, you transform into this other world. And you're like, where'd this come from? And it just changes your state for a moment. And so we all can have challenges when, we get scared, going on a roller coaster or things like that. So people often ask me, John, how do you get over your fear of roller coasters? Well, most people say just don't go on them. Well, that's not going to help you, right? I've always said you've got to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Let me say that again. You've got to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. So how do you actually get over your fear of roller coasters? So learn what to expect. Maybe you want to learn a little about roller coasters before you ride your first one. Some parks will rank the roller coasters on intensity so you can learn more about the particular roller coasters you're going to visit. And when you get there and get the park map, you can check out the specific coasters online as well. There's wooden coasters. They're the oldest and most classic coasters, and they're operated on chain lifts, and they'll go very fast, but never go upside down or in any complicated loops for the most part. You have a steel track coaster. They're complex. They feature lots of twists and turns, and they go upside down. Some steel coasters are good because they will have more turns and not as many drops. And they will also be less rickety and smoother than the wooden ones. And a lot of people feel comfortable because they think the coaster is, made better. There are some small steel coasters which are great for the first time, as wooden coasters are very bumpy, so that can bother some people. I recommend going on a smooth steel coaster. That's a great thing. You should have a great experience. If you're scared of the big drops, well, look for a roller coaster with curved drops instead of straight drops. So you'll get a gradual ride and won't feel as if you're plunging. You can also choose a launched ride, which accelerates you at high speeds, like the Aerosmith roller coaster that I went on, instead of dropping you off a large hill through those intense moments, right? It can seem silly, but most kid rides allow anyone to ride and can be a great start. So why not start on a kid ride, as long as you can fit in it, right? Try not to find out specific things like how tall the coaster is, how fast it goes, and other specific scary numbers, because that's just going to push you away and give you excuses to not want to do it. Talk to other people about their experiences. Millions of people ride roller coasters. There's even a group for like the National Roller Coaster Riders or something like that, they tour all over the country. So that's pretty cool. Understand that roller coasters are supposed to be scary. So if you're feeling scared by the idea of a 12-story drop going 60 miles per hour, well, just deal with it. That's normal. And it means the theme park is doing its job. If they weren't scary, then people would be bored and may not want to ride them. Roller coasters are made to be scary to give riders fun thrills and chills, but they aren't actually dangerous as long as you follow the safety precautions and listen to all the instructions. A coaster is thoroughly tested before being cleared for public use, and all rides receive regular maintenance to keep them top working order. But what you didn't know is a lot of them go through tests every day. Now, here's an interesting fact. How many tests do Great Adventure, let's take Great Adventure, do on their coasters every day? Well, it's a great question because, the test is something that is pretty well planned. They go through several tests in the morning. And then people ask me, so what are the daily safety checks for roller coasters in general? Well, there's something called daily inspections. If you frequent amusement parks, you're probably aware that roller coasters are inspected on a daily basis to ensure riders have a fun but a very safe ride. And but what does an inspection entail? Well, the inspection is to prevent accidents of any kind of issues. So if maintenance personnel find something dangerous, they're going to close the ride, whether it's for a few minutes or a few days. Preventive maintenance is extremely important when it comes to thrill rides because, let's face it, these things wear out, and when they do, there could be problems. There are many things that they have to do. First, before an inspection occurs, the ride must be locked out. This is important for safety workers, and there have been too many incidents in the amusement industry where a ride has been started with workers in dangerous areas, leading to unfortunate accidents. A roller coaster's track is typically inspected every day before the park opens at the request of management during the day or due to an accident or near-death experience. Maintenance personnel will visually inspect high-stress areas such as the bottom of a big drop or the underside of the rails of airtime-filled hills. Before the coaster can be ran safely, the tracks must be free of obstructions such as tree limbs or litter, which might have fallen on the rails during the night or after a strong storm. All the welds on the handrails, stairs, and catwalks are examined for any type of cracks that might exist. Some rides require booster tires to basically move the trains from block zone to another. And these tires must be properly maintained and inspected for proper inflation. And they may include keeping the tire pressure at certain levels, like at 50 pounds per square inch. And there's several items to check on the lift, including chain dampeners, anti-rollback on gearboxes, sprockets, and intermediate chains, chain troughs, chains, and chain tensions. And in the station, the queue areas, the station area has the air gates, and they should be checked for proper alignment. All buttons and lights on the operator's panel should be working correctly. Transfer tracks should be locked in place. Brake shoes should be checked for excessive wear and proper alignment. Now, they also look at the vehicles. The tasks vary from one coaster to another, but are typically the same for the daily inspection on the coaster, which include inspecting the restraint system for proper operation, the condition of the upholstery, condition of the fiberglass, the hitch yokes, the safety cables, the wheels of rotation, damage, urethane and proper oil levels, the castle nuts securing wheels, chain dogs, and anti-rollback dogs and shafts, axle center spindles for looseness, undercarriage of trains for cracks, and missing safety wires for nuts. Now, what you might not realize is there are many safeties on a roller coaster. So if one safety fails, okay, there are often at least two other safeties. So that is really good to know. Before the ride can open to the public, it must be cycled a certain number of times. And the e-stop or the emergency stop must be checked for the proper operation of the ride. And it could include bringing the coaster's train to a complete stop on each of the ride's brake sections of the track. After a visual inspection, the maintenance crew runs the roller coaster empty of passengers, watching and listening for any abnormalities. And then the crew may get on for their own ride, this time paying attention to anything in the feel and the sound of the ride that seems out of sync. The roller coaster is open to the public only after a complete inspection of the cars, lap bars, tracks, and then they could take up to 4 hours or longer even after they've done that. So the number of technicians inspecting each ride can vary on the size and the complexity. Large coasters will take more time and personnel to inspect versus a kiddie ride. And different technicians have a different job responsibilities, such as mechanical, carpenter, electrical, fiberglass, etc. And ride components are checked for any signs of wear, often near replacing. There are two types of wear, which is MTBF, which is mean time between failures, or the average time between breakdowns of a ride or component. And this is the amount of time that would be large as possible, like weeks or months or even years. There's also, we need to consider MTTR, which stands for mean time to repair. So mean time between failures and mean time to repair, which stands for mean time to repair, or the average amount of time it takes to fix a ride. So if a ride does break down, we need to consider the MTTR again, which is the mean time to repair, or the average amount of time it takes to fix a ride. Because remember, if they can't fix something, the ride's going to be down for quite a while. So these are just some of the tasks they do. And hopefully this has put you a little more ease at how a roller coaster actually works. And, you know, one of the other important things is, guys, have fun. You know, life is meant to be lived. It's meant to have fun. Enjoy life. You know, smile, laugh, just enjoy life. Enjoy the moment. The last thing I want to share with you guys tonight is stop making excuses. Oh, you know, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you won't. Do it now, right? Just like riding your first coaster. Why not ride with a friend? And you know what'll happen when you ride with a good friend that'll be supportive of you? The ride's going to be great. And when you're done, you'll build an even better bond of a friendship. So don't watch. As you're walking around the park, as you're waiting in line, and you're getting ready to get on, try to resist the urge to look up at the big drop or the scariest part of the ride. Focus on talking to your friends and distracting yourself from what's about to happen, because it's not as bad as you think, but your mind makes it worse. Sit somewhere in the middle if it's your first time on a pretty scary one, because let's face it, the beginning and the ends are a little more intense on the ride. And follow the instructions, of course, of the park employees and the ride guidelines. Get through it, okay? Look straight ahead. I always focus on like a screw or some type of a nut, and just keep focusing on that so you don't get dizzy or things like that. Breathe deeply. This is very, very important. And, focus. Count your breaths as you take them. Breathe in deeply for a count of 4, then tense your muscles for a count of 3, then blow your breath out for a count of 4, and continue cycling in this way. So again, count your breath as you take them in. Breathe in deeply for a count of 4, then tense your muscles for a count of 3, and then blow your breath out for a count of 4. This action will help distract you. Flex your stomach muscles and arm muscles. This will help as well. But relax and enjoy the ride. You will get through it. You can yell loudly if you want. You definitely won't be the only one. And the train is usually noisy anyway, with people cracking jokes and yelling back and forth. So just enjoy the ride. Use your imagination to your advantage. If you're still freaking out, try to use your mind to go elsewhere. And you'll find that the ride's going to be over in no time. Always use your own judgment. If you've never been on a roller coaster before, then don't go on like one that's so tremendous, right? So don't make excuses in life, because if you make excuses, two things are going to happen. One, you're never going to get closer to what you actually want to do. And two, you're going to discourage other people from doing what they want to do. So if you want to do something and maybe you're scared about it, do a little research, right? Take some baby steps. Maybe you're going swimming. I remember the first time I went swimming. Now, when I was in my single digits and I wasn't able to swim, I'm Pisces, you're supposed to be able to swim. I swim well now, but I was not comfortable with getting into water. So I had to dip my toes in, kind of get comfortable with it, stay in the shallow end, and start realizing what's it like to go underwater. What does it feel like? That kind of sensation. And then I got more comfortable with going into deep water and then treading water and then not being afraid of the water. And now realizing that I had other mechanisms that could help me actually, prevent myself from drowning, because I think that was a fear, right? And then did different types of techniques like, blow bubbles, tread water. So I always had different things I could do, even if I couldn't properly swim. And guess what happened? I then learned how to swim. But I learned how to swim because I had two very patient private instructors that my parents hired. And I learned how to blow bubbles, and I had fun with it. And I learned how to swim in the shallow end just by blowing bubbles. And then I went to the deep end, because there was really no difference between the shallow and the deep end, because after all, whether I was in 1 foot of water and laying on top 4 feet of water, I was wearing on 8 feet of water, I still had to float. Still floating 8 feet or 4 feet was still like the same thing. So again, I want to encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to light that spark. And if you can't find your spark, take your time, because finding what's going to ignite your passion is something you're going to be so grateful you took the time to do. Don't just do something because somebody else tells you to do it or it'll be fun. Have the ability to try something. If you don't like it, then don't do it again, right? But at least try. Just like certain foods. You may not like certain foods, but try them. And you might like them, right? All right, guys. So we talked about something very important today, which is how to live a life with passion this week. And we're talking about ignite your spark, embracing passion and purpose, following your fire, having more fun, and stop making excuses. Whether it's a roller coaster, whether it's taking a new class, whether it's singing, whether it's running, whether it's going on a date, relationship, I don't care what it is. Just stop making excuses, because the world will never evolve if you don't practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. All right, guys, have yourself an amazing evening. I'll catch you tomorrow.